Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's Cooper here, one half of FCSN. I'm joined by Fo for you today. We're here to break down the first round, what went down, our opinions on it, who messed up, who made good picks, and just how we project some of these guys to go. And a little bit of what we're looking forward to round two of some guys that fell out of the first round. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Tampa Bay, much expected. Went number one, Jameis Winston. I don't think there's a whole lot of doubt there. So what was your thought on that pick? Same kind of stuff?
Obvious pick. I think best quarterback in the draft for pro-style offense. Played at Florida State. Knows how to win. Good pick for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think that was like a pretty sure thing. I think everyone's pretty much made their evaluations on that. Solid pick by Tampa Bay. They got their guy at quarterback. Now, number two. This was just talked about for days and up to the draft. Like, there was so much stuff going on. The Titans were going to dictate the whole entire first round. The Eagles offered the whole farm for him for that pick, and they had offers from the Browns. They just turned down everybody, and they ended up taking their guy, Marcus Mariota. I was just talking to you a minute ago. They better be sold on Mariota. Like, I'm starting to like Mariota. I think he's fundamentally sound, smart guy, very athletic. But you better be sure this guy is good for what you were offered for him. Like, what's your take on that pick?
When you have a 2 or 3 win season, I think you really want to rebuild. And teams were offering like 3 or 4 picks, and that's really how you rebuild a team. I thought they should have traded down, but we'll see how Marcus Mariota does in Tennessee. I don't really like the fit because Tennessee has a lack of weapons there, but we'll see what this young kid can do.
And they could definitely add, this is a deep draft, some pieces to that offense.
For sure,
to go throughout the draft. Similar to what Jacksonville did last year with Blake Bortles, getting Marquise Lee and Alvin Robinson in the second round, giving the quarterbacks some weapons. Speaking of Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they came up number 3, and they got the edge rusher they very much needed. This was, in my opinion, a huge need from the beginning. It makes sense. Leonard Williams might have been a good fit here, but you really can't argue that they needed edge rusher. Fowler Jr., arguably the best guy at that spot. A lot of guys are really high on him. I'm overall pretty happy with the pick as a Jags fan. What's your take on our pick?
I like him too. Guy wears 265, runs a 4.6, pretty athletic, but in college only had like 14 or 15 career sacks, so the potential is there for sure. But and I think the Jaguars really likes his motor because when you watch him play, he really never stops going. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah. And that's definitely a Gus Bradley type of guy. You know, Gus Bradley is all about energy. He's all about optimism, just getting fired up, and that's just Dante Fowler is a Gus
and he
guy.
Seems like he really wants to play in Jacksonville. He's been in Florida his whole life, so I think it's a good fit for us.
Yeah, moving on to the Oakland Raiders. They got a surefire wide receiver. This is widely projected. I like the pick. I like Amari Cooper. What's your take on that?
Derek Carr needed a weapon. That offense needs a playmaker, so either Kevin White or Amari Cooper. The one with Amari Cooper. So I think it was a good pick for Oakland Raiders to get a playmaker.
And I've been saying from the start, in my opinion, you may disagree, Amari Cooper is more a safer pick. I think he may not have as much upside as possibly Kevin White, maybe not as explosive a guy going to go up and get the ball, but he goes very fluid routes, just smooth runner. He gets open, and you know what you're going to get out of Amari Cooper. I think it's a very safe pick. I think he could be a true number 1 wide receiver. Just a solid overall pick for the Raiders. Move on to number 5. This is where people where a lot of people were surprised because Leonard Williams was starting to fall, and I thought the Redskins were going Leonard Williams. I didn't see how they could pass him up, especially with losing Ereck and just they need some kind of pass rush. But they went Brandon Scherff, the offensive guard out of Iowa. He can play tackle as well, but just a general overall, the top offensive lineman. What do you think about the Redskins passing up on Williams and going after that top lineman?
I actually like this pick because RG3's been beat up all year. We all know those injuries he's had, those ankle, those knee injuries. And whether the Redskins like it or not, he is their future. So they got to protect him first and just go with it there. So I think it was a good pick, the best tackle in the draft.
So do you think this shows that they're dedicated to RG3 and they're trying to just give him all the pieces he needs?
I think so. They're going to try that out because they just signed him to, I think, another 1-year extension, I believe. I'm not sure.
They picked up his
5th year option. That's what happened. Yeah. But I think they're showing, drafting a lineman, giving him a 5th year option. They're giving him one last chance to show that he can lead this Redskin team.
Yeah, I can definitely see that working out. But here, number 6, Leonard Williams finally found his destination in New York, and man, that's going to be a solid defensive front. Leonard Williams, my favorite player in this draft. Jets got a steal. I mean, an absolute steal. He fell all the way to 6. What do you think about Leonard Williams heading to New York?
With them having Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson and Leonard Williams, that's going to be a scary defense to run on. So you better, when you play the Jets, you better find a way to get around those big guys up front. That's going to be a scary defense. Yeah. The Jets had some other needs, but they saw going with the best player in the draft. I guess you can't pass up a guy like Leonard Williams.
Yeah, they have other needs, but this is a great pick.
I agree.
Yeah, just anytime you get a player like that, he makes your team better, for sure. Now the Bears, they were talking some trade talks, but they went out and got Jay Cutler, another weapon, in Kevin White. A lot of people's favorite receivers in the draft. I think he has the highest upside in the draft. Really goes up and gets the football. To be with Alshon Jeffrey, that could be a good wide receiver tandem. But let's see how Jay Cutler plays. What do you think about what the Bears did, taking your man out of West Virginia?
This is a classic Chicago Bears. Big wide receiver. Got Martellus Bennett. Had Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey. It's a typical wide receiver. A big dude in that up-tempo offense with Matt Forte. I think it's a good fit for him because their offense could be explosive in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. It has the potential to be. It hasn't lived up to that expectation as of late, but he's a good guy. I could definitely see him being a star in the future. Now, Vic Beasley going to Atlanta. And Vic Beasley was one of my favorite edge rushers. It's not Dante Fowler. It was Vic Beasley. This guy is just a freak athletically. Maybe doesn't have the size, but he just has a tremendous first step, great closing speed, and just is always around the football. Maybe not the same motor or the same size, but the Falcons, I think they got a great edge rusher here in Vic Beasley. I think it's a good fit. He's from Atlanta or the Georgia area, somewhere around there. I like the Falcons pick. Do you agree?
I like him too. Falcons always need somebody to get after the quarterback. Only problem with Beasley is his weight, but I think he can put on weight in the NFL and definitely beef up. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for Falcons. I give this a good pick for the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Now here were the Giants surprised some people at number 9. A lot of people thought they were going offensive lineman. Ereck Flowers, maybe not necessarily the guy, but they got the offensive lineman out of Miami to protect Eli Manning and buy him some time. What were your thoughts on that?
This kind of surprised me. I thought they were going in a different offensive lineman way, but this guy has the potential to be good, but I think it's going to take him maybe a year or two to really get there, but he definitely has some upside.
He's got tremendous size. I mean, 6'6", 230. He's definitely got the tools for it. We'll see how it works out for the Giants in the long run. Moving on, this was another surprise pick. This is one of my favorite guys in the whole draft, maybe top 5 on my big board. And that's Todd Gurley. I think it doesn't matter where he's going unless it's like a team with like Marshawn Lynch, Adrian Peterson. Like, if he goes to any team, he's immediately the best running back on that team and improves their offense with just being there. But the Rams didn't necessarily need a running back, and they made a surprise pick going with them. What were your thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, this surprised me because I really liked Trae Mason last year for the Rams. I thought he had a great season. First game went into Seattle, had 100-plus yards. Not too many running backs do that. But I guess the Rams couldn't pass a guy like Todd Gurley. And Jeff Fisher has a history with running backs. He loves a good big running back to run up the middle, break some tackles. So Jeff Fisher, I guess, just couldn't pass him up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like one of the best players in the draft. So, I mean, I don't think there's any bust there unless he's not able to stay healthy. I think if he's healthy, he will be a star. So I think the Rams, yeah, you got other needs, but this guy's definitely going to help your football team out. Move on to 11, the Vikings, which I predicted, I believe, in my mock draft, was Trae Waynes, cornerback out of Michigan State. Widely regarded as the top defensive back in the draft at great speed. What we think about this pick and the fit for Trae Waynes in Minnesota?
I like it. The Vikings have spent 3 first-round picks in the last 4 years in their secondary, so they're trying to lock that up. Trae Waynes is probably one of the best secondaries in the draft. Can go up and get the ball. He got speed, like you said. A good pick for the Minnesota Vikings to shore up that defense.
For sure. Play opposite of Xavier Rhodes. Moving on to number 12, we got Danny Shelton. He picked up Goodell, and he's headed to Cleveland to help out that defense in the middle. What was your take on this pick?
I like his pick for the Browns. I think Danny Shelton has a good defense on the run-stopping area, and I think he can also get up the quarterback too, even being that big. So I think he'll help out the Browns defense.
Yeah, I think he's definitely he just anchors your defense. Put him in the middle. He'll plug up the holes. He's pretty active. He uses his hands pretty well. I think it's a solid pick. I think you know what you're getting out of Danny Shelton. I don't think there's a whole lot of bust potential there. I think he's just a sure kind of thing. Moving on to 13, the New Orleans Saints. They want to protect Drew Brees. They went after one of my favorite linemen in this draft, and that's Andrews Pete out of Stanford. What do you think about that?
I like this guy. This guy's big, 6'7". He's got a big frame. But the thing is, he really doesn't attack the lineman, so he's got to work on that. But with a little coaching, I think he can protect Drew Brees and be one of the best linemen in football.
Yeah, he's definitely got to get more consistent with his leverage, but if he gets that down, he's definitely got the link for it to protect Drew Brees or whoever the quarterback is. There's rumors that the Saints might go quarterback later on, maybe Brett Hundley, maybe Bryce Petty behind Drew Brees. I'm sitting down a little bit. Moving on to 14, DeVante Parker. I like this pick a lot. I like DeVante Parker. A little bit raw, but if he just cleans some stuff up, becomes a little bit more polished, he's got all the athletic ability. I think it gives Tannehill a downfield threat. What do you think about DeVante Parker from Louisville headed to Miami?
I like this kid. Big kid. He's got, like you said, he's raw. He runs a 4.5 40. Sometimes he gets jammed at the line, but if he can put on some weight and work on it, get a release, I think he'd be a good wide receiver in the National Football League.
And a lot of people projected this. This was Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin going to San Diego to go to the Chargers. They traded up to get him, gave up a 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick just to move up and their 1st-round pick to move up 2 spots. But they got their guy. I think it's a sure thing. They needed a running back, and I think they got a great one in Melvin Gordon. I think it's a great fit. I really like this pick overall for the Chargers at this point in the draft. High-value guy. You like Melvin Gordon?
I love this fit. Melvin Gordon, it's a great fit for the Chargers' up-tempo offense. I think he's going to be big in fantasy football. He can be the number 1 guy. I think he can do it all. I think he can block. He can run. He only had 20 or so receptions in college, but I think he can get more in the NFL. So I think he's a good catching back with some checkdowns. I think he's a good fit for the Chargers.
Yeah, he's definitely got to work on catching the ball in the backfield, but he's definitely a great fit. I really like that pick. That's one of my favorite picks of the 1st round. Moving on to 16, the Houston Texans went after Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson, one of my favorite defensive backs. He's always around the football. He's just got a high IQ. He just knows where to be. I just really like Kevin Johnson overall as a DB. I think the Texans, knowing they got to play the Colts with all these wide receivers, can definitely bolster up that secondary. I like the pick overall. What do you think?
I like a pick. I think it was a nice pick for the Texans. Not too flashy, not really too much. Their coverage really wasn't a need, but I think a guy like Kevin Johnson can help that defense with J.J. Watt. Clowney, that's a scary defense to go against next year.
Now at 17, the 49ers and Chargers swap. And then the 49ers selected Eric Armstead out of Oregon. Huge defensive tackle. You can move him around on the defensive line as well. He's a pretty versatile guy. What do you think about our Eric Armstead headed to San Francisco?
This dude big, 6'8", defensive end. This dude's got some size. He needs to hit the weight room a little bit, but if he gets some weight, I think he's got some big potential, and maybe he can be a good defensive end in this league.
Yeah, he can play inside as well, and you said he can play. He got potential. He's got a little bit of learning to do, maybe a little bit of growth to do, but very raw player. Can definitely make an impact down the road. Moving on to 18. This was a kind of a surprise pick at this point in time. Almost everybody from what I've seen had Cam Erving going to Kansas City. But it ended up being Marcus Peters, the cornerback out of Washington. He had some off-the-field trouble. I like him as a player, but I guess they don't care about that, and they just think he's got everything sorted out. I like the pick. I like him as a player. Hopefully it works out for both parties. What do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I didn't really like it. He has talent, but history, off-the-field issue. He got suspended 1 game. Didn't even finish the season with the team. That is taking a risk. But I guess the Chiefs are thinking Andy Reid can handle guys like Deshaun Jackson, so maybe he can handle a guy like Marcus Peters.
That would make sense. Next up, the Browns. Selected Cam Erving, who was slated to go 18 by most people. Fell to 19, but the Browns got an offensive lineman to fill into that rotation. Very, very, very versatile guy. Can move pretty much anywhere on that offensive line. Big body. I like this pick overall. I think it gives him a lot of depth and can just fill in anywhere the Browns would need it to on the line.
I love this pick. I'm a huge Cam Erving fan. He was great at FSU in both the pass blocking and run blocking. Great pick for the Browns to protect whoever the quarterback is.
Yeah, whoever that may be. Moving on. This was another surprise pick. The Eagles went Nelson Agholor. I like this guy. He was a sleeper. I thought he was going to fall to the 2nd round. I thought he was going to go early 2nd round, and would be a nice addition for a team. But the Eagles made it a little bit of a reach, but this guy is a big-time playmaker. They've let Macklin and Deshaun Jackson go the past couple years. They have other holes in their roster, but it makes sense for them to need some receiver to add to their core. So what do you think about Nelson Agholor from USC headed to Philadelphia?
I think this was another Chip Kelly move. They had deep needs for secondary help. They really got shredded last year in the secondary. But Agholor definitely has some upside playing that high-tempo offense in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I thought they were going Landon Collins, to be honest with you. I saw that pretty much everywhere. I agree with it. I like Landon Collins. But I guess, like you said, it's a Chip Kelly move. He wanted his guy on offense. Moving to 21, the Cincinnati Bengals went offensive tackle, getting Cedric Ogbuehi out of Texas A&M, 6'5", 306 pounds. You didn't like this pick, did you?
I did not. Just because he had a torn ACL. He's coming off that, an offensive lineman. Takes a little bit. But they have Andrew Whitworth as a Pro Bowler at left tackle, and they also have Andre Smith playing right tackle. So I really don't see if he's going to get playing time right off the bat.
But definitely could develop. I think he's got a high upside, but we'll see how that works out for Cincinnati. Moving on to 22, this was one of my favorite picks in this whole draft from the first round so far. Bud Dupree, a guy I really like. I love his upside. He's got tremendous size. Runs a 4.5 at 270 pounds. Very raw edge rusher. Definitely needs some work, but it's a very Pittsburgh pick. You know what I mean? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers fit. An edge rusher like that. Tough, gritty, athletic guy coming off the edge. I think he'll be a great fit in Pittsburgh. They'll coach him up. I was a huge fan of this pick. What do you think about Steelers going after?
Yeah, like you said, Steelers are a great pass rushing team. They've always been. Dupree's far from polished, like you said, but his upside is really up the roof. Maybe one of the most potential best defensive linemen in this draft.
Yeah, I was surprised he fell that far at that point, but the Pittsburgh, tremendous fit. If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm ecstatic about that pick. Moving on to 23, the Denver Broncos traded up to get Shane Ray. They got their guy, the edge rusher out of Missouri, who had the off-the-field problems 2 days before the draft. How concerned are you with that, and how do you think he fits for the Broncos?
I don't think I'm that concerned, but I love this pick for the Broncos. They went out and got somebody to play with Von Miller. I think this guy, you saw in the interview, I think he's going to play hungry and prove everybody that he deserved a top 10 pick. So I like this pick for the Broncos because I think this dude is going to come out and play hard every single Sunday.
Yeah, I thought they might go offensive line, but Shane Ray, it's a good fit. I think he fits well into that defense. I think he'll have some time to learn behind DeMarcus Murray, Von Miller. I think it'll eventually work out pretty well for the Denver Broncos. Moving on, 24. Arizona Cardinals, they want to protect Carson Palmer or whoever plays quarterback in the future for them for years to come. And they got DJ Humphries, the offensive tackle out of Florida. I like this pick. I think it just helps out their offense a lot and gives them some more time. What do you think about it?
I really like this pick. The Cardinals need somebody because they averaged a league low 3.3 yards per carry last season. And I think that's mainly on the offensive line. So they needed somebody to clear up those holes and give rooms for Andre Ellington and help Carson Palmer.
Right. This next pick is 25. I did not see it coming. I don't think anybody did. But it happened. The Panthers went after Shaq Thompson, the super athletic, versatile linebacker. That's what you want to call him. He played all over the field at Washington. Tremendous athlete. Very raw, got a lot to learn. But in my opinion, I think Thomas Davis can coach him up. I think that's a good guy to go in behind and learn. Maybe a little bit of reach, but I could definitely see why they would do it. What do you think about this?
Yeah, like you said, Shaq Thompson could have some upside, but I think his pick is a little bit of the reach. But also, you said Thomas Davis, good linebacker, can take him under his wing and make him a quality linebacker in the NFL.
That could be a crazy linebacking core for the future as well.
Yeah, with Kuechly, for sure.
Yeah. Next up, I like this pick a lot. The Ravens went after Breshad Perriman. They needed some receiving help because they lost all those guys in their receiving core. And Breshad Perriman, maybe not ready to be that number one guy right away, but I think I gotta have a guy like Steve Smith to coach him up and kind of help him out a little bit. He's a tremendous athlete, world-class athlete. Ran like a 4.25 at 6'2", 212. That's just unheard of. I like his upside a ton. If he can clean some stuff up, become more polished of a wide receiver, cut down on the drops a little bit, I definitely think he'll be a tremendous deep threat and overall receiver for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I like this pick as well. They just lost Torrey Smith. I think they got a bigger and faster version of him. He could run that deep route. Maybe he needs to clean up his route running, like you said, and work on his catching. But the Ravens believe his hands improved toward the end of the season, so they definitely did some scouting on this kid.
Yeah, he definitely. I think he can beat Torrey Smith right away. I think he can be that guy from the jump, and then down the road he can be that and more. I like that pick a lot. At 27, the Dallas Cowboys. They got one of my favorite DBs. Him and Kevin Johnson. I like Byron Jones. I like Byron Jones a lot. Freak athlete, just destroyed the combine. Just woke up, picked some people up that didn't really know a whole lot about him. I like this pick for Dallas. Helps out their defense, helps out their secondary, and they're trying to build a well-rounded team there in Dallas.
Yeah, this pick was best available player, I think. He gives the Cowboys flexibility with free safety in his background. I think he'll start off at cornerback first, but don't be surprised if they move him around in that safety position.
Right, because he didn't even play corner until his junior year.
Yeah.
He just played 1 year corner. Yeah, that's a very versatile guy. Like I said, freak athlete, a bigger corner. I like the pick. Now, here was another surprise a little bit. It made sense, like, what position they did, but the guy they took was a little bit of a shock. But I like Laken Tomlinson a lot going to Detroit. I think he's a good guy who can play inside. To help protect Matthew Stafford, give him that whole offense some more time, help him run the ball. I like the pick. What do you think about Lions taking Laken Tomlinson?
Yeah, I like this kid. What I like about this kid is he's a smart dude. He already finished his pre-med requisitions at Duke, so he's a smart offensive lineman. And the Detroit Lions definitely needed a guard, so it fills their need. I like this pick by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a solid pick. You're going to be happy with it. Next, now this, I was a little bit salty about this pick because I wanted him to fall to us in the second round. But Phillip Dorsett heads to Indianapolis. The rich get richer at wide receiver. I'm really high on Phillip Dorsett. Just a burner. He's super fast, runs crazy routes. He'll just break your ankles like in one cut. I like Phillip Dorsett in the slot, outside, wherever you move him around. You get him the ball, Indianapolis. I didn't think they'd do this, but they did. What's your take?
I think they already have a Phillip Dorsett in their offense. T.Y. Hilton, same kind of player. But Dorsett could be a special player, but the Colts are already stacked on wide receiver. They also have 2 tight ends, and Dwayne Allen and Colby Fleener, so they already have a bunch of weapons. Also with Frank Gore, I thought they needed to improve their line or get some secondary help, but they wanted to give another weapon to the great quarterback in Andrew Luck.
Is this arguably the best receiving core, or does Andrew Luck have the best weapons out there?
He's got some good ones. He definitely has some good ones.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can't really complain about that. If you're Andrew Luck, I'm sure he's happy. I thought they were going offensive line, but I like Phillip Dorsett. Maybe not the best fit, but I think he'll be a good player for the Indianapolis Colts. Moving on. This surprised me a little bit just because I thought Landon Collins was number 1 safety, and that's who guys were going to go after. But Damarious Randall heads to Arizona State. From Arizona State, heads to Green Bay. What do you think about this pick?
I liked it because the Packers, allowed 22 touchdown passes to wide receivers last season, second most in the NFL. And I think Randall is one of the best cover guys. Landon Collins is more of a hitter, I think. But because the Packers really need some help in that coverage. So I like that pick from the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you got to think about the division they play in, the receivers that are in it. Calvin Johnson in Detroit, and the guys in Chicago. You definitely need some guys
for
in secondary.
sure.
And I think that definitely they'll help them out. Now, this was another surprise pick, but I like it. Stephone Anthony from Clemson heading to New Orleans Saints. I had them going Denzel Perriman in my mock right here at 31, the inside linebacker from Miami, but they go Stephone Anthony from Clemson. Very athletic guy, probably more laterally quick than Perriman. A little bit more upside maybe. A little bit more of a project, but I like the pick overall. What do you think?
I like the pick. They went out and got this guy, man. He probably wasn't supposed to go the 2nd or 3rd round, right? But mid-second,
third,
so I guess I really like this guy on tape, and the Saints went out and made a risk, and hopefully it pays out for them.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him a lot. Like I said, I had them going inside linebacker, so the position makes sense. I guess they're sold on this guy. Hopefully it works out for the New Orleans Saints. Now, rounding out the first round, 32nd pick, the Patriots. I love this pick. They got Malcolm Brown, one of the best defensive tackles. Versatile guy, can rush the passer, got a solid motor. I just like the pick from the Patriots. Helps replace Vince Wilfork. Different kind of player. but it helps out their defensive line.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just like you said, I think this is a great pick. Maybe even a steal. Losing Vince Wilfork. Now they have someone also to clog up the middle. He's probably one of the best defensive tackles in the draft. So I really like this pick for the Patriots. Getting him at 32, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I thought they were going Eddie Goldman or Malcolm Brown, either one of the two. You could win out with either one. I think they did a good job right here. So that kind of pretty much wraps it up for us, and I just pick by pick overview. Let me know what you thought of your team in the comment section below and how happy you were or dissatisfied you were with who they picked. And that's all we got for you guys. Remember to follow us both on Twitter. Those links will be down in the description below. We've been posting a lot of edits lately on Instagram. That's FC Sports Network. That link's in the description. So make sure to follow us both on there as well. Yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And this is Cooper signing out.
Duval.